Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Gita-dita chayena-pi bhakti-bhavena cetasa vedashastu puranani tena-ditani sarvashaha. For those who study the Bhagavad Gita as it is with great faith and devotion, the essence of all Vedic knowledge is revealed. This evening we shall read from text 13, which is on the board, so you kindly repeat this after me line by line. Gama Vishya Chabutani Dharayam Yahamojasa Pushnami Chaushadhi Sarva Somo Bhutvara Satmaka Gama Vishya Chabutani Dharayam Yahamojasa Pushnami Chaushadhi Sarva Somo Bhutvara Satmaka Gam Avishya Chabutani Dharayam Yahamojasa Pushnami Chaushadhi Sarva Somo Bhutvara Satmaka. Gam Avishya Chabutani Dharayam Yahamojasa Pushnami Chaushadhi Sarva Somo Bhutvara Satmaka. Ukam Kroti Bachalam Manam Lanai Tegarim Yat Kripadam Mande Shigurum Dinataranam. Yesterday, Sri Krishna was speaking of his Tejas. Tejas is translated by Srila Prabhupada in text 12 as splendor. Another translation from the Brahma Samhita is fiery energy.
Вчера ние говорихме за Кришна като този, който е течес. И Шрила Прабхупада нарича думата течес като блясък, също така и в Брахма Самхита е даден друг превод, който означава огнена енергия.
So by the Lord's tejas, the sun, the moon, fire, electricity are luminous, give light and heat.
И благодарение на тази тежест на Бога, слънцето, луната, огъня, електричеството, те светят, имат такава енергия в себе си.
Now today, in text 13, Sri Krishna is speaking of another kind of energy called ojas.
В следващия 13 стих, Кришна говори за друг вид енергия, наречена оджас.
So ojas, Srila Prabhupada is translated as great strength. And the idea of this strength is sensual power or even physical, bodily power.
И Шрила Прабхупада превела тази дума оджас като изключително могъщество. Това се отнася до силата на сетивата, а дори до силата на тялото.
So, Lord Balaram, who is Krishna's first expansion, is very fond of displaying ojas, great bodily or sensual strength.
И Балбаларам, първата експанзия на Кришна, много обича да проявява тази течност и десетивна и телесна сила.
So Lord Balaram expands as Sankarshana, and Sankarshana, he has a feature in the bottom, feature of himself in the bottom of this universe called Ananta Shesh.
И Балбаларам се ширява като Санкаршан, който Санкаршан има една своя форма на дъното на тази вселена.
Ananta Shesh is the Lord's form as an endless transcendental serpent.
И тази форма на Бог Санкаршан е Нанташеш, който има формата на една безкрайно дълга трансцендентална змия.
Ananta means endless. You cannot trace out the beginning or the end of this wonderful, amazing spiritual form.
Ананта означава безкрайен. Ние не можем да открием нито началото, нито края на тази великолепна трансцендентална форма.
And Ananta Shesh has thousands and thousands of heads.
И Нанташеш има хиляди и хиляди глави.
And these heads are spread out throughout the universe.
И те са върху цялата вселена.
And the heads of Lord Anantashesh are supporting the planets.
И главите на Бога Нанташеш поддържат планетата.
So when Krishna says here that he enters into each planet, and by his ojasa, by his energy, they stay in orbit, this is actually referring to the Anantashesh, whom Srila Prabhupada also said is the force of gravity, this ojasa, this energy of Anantashesh or Shankarshan is the force of gravity, which the scientists also say is keeping all the planets, all the star systems in their place.
И когато Кришна казва този стих на Бхагавад-гита, че той влиза във всички планети, той има предвид именно тази си форма като Бог Санкаршан, който влиза със своята оджеса и ги поддържа с нея. Всъщност тази оджеса или сила е гравитационната сила, която държи планетите в орбита. Така е дори и според учените. Гравитационната сила се поддържа.
Sankarshan or Anantashesh has a name, Tamasi. That means the power of darkness. Ignorance originates in him.
Бог Нанташеш има едно друго име, Тамаси, което означава означава, че силата на невежеството, на тъмнината води началото от него.
So, krodha or anger, this is an aspect of tamos, darkness.
И крода или гнева, това е един от аспектите на тамас или тъмнината.
So Lord Anantashesh is very angry. He's supporting all the planets on his head. But in these planets, there are so many living entities who are engaged in sinful activities. Now, Anantashesh, Sankarshan, although he is God, he is Vishnu Tattva, he is also a Vaishnava simultaneously. He is a servant of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Krishna, as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, lays upon the Anantashesh at the bottom of the universe. And Anantashesh, with all of his thousands and thousands of heads, is eternally chanting the glories of Lord Vishnu, Krishna. So, Lord Shankarshan is thinking that it is by the mercy of my Lord Krishna that these living entities have been endowed with physical bodies and they've been given a place in these various planets in the universe. So, why don't they engage in Krishna's service? Why are they such rascals that they take the benediction of the Lord and they waste it in foolish sense pleasures? So, considering the ungratefulness and the sinfulness of the conditioned souls, Lord Anantashesh is always very angry. But being a servant of Lord Krishna, he restrains his anger until Krishna gives the sign that now is the time for devastation. And then from between the eyes of Shankarshan, there appears Rudra, Shiva. And Shankarshan, he breathes fire from his mouth, and this fire goes up through the universe and sets the planets aflame. And Shiva begins his dance of devastation. He's dancing from planet to planet, spreading the fire to all planets throughout the universe. And thus the whole universe is consumed and destroyed. So by this ojas, this physical strength or sensual strength, because it's not physical, it's spiritual, but the Lord's sensual strength, the planets are being upheld in their orbit, but they're also being destroyed. And by the same ojas, by the same sensual power, Krishna says he becomes the moon.
същата тази отжист или сила на сетивата, тук Кришна казва, че той става юмонат.
And he supplies the juice of life to all vegetables.
И той снабдява с живителен сок всички зеленчуци.
Srila Prabhupada said that the moon activates the vegetables.
Прабхупад казва, че луната активира зеленчуци.
It's by the course of the moon across the sky, its phases, that the energy emanating from the moon, the vegetables have rasa. They have this juice which is life-giving to this body.
И зеленчуците притежават тази раса или този сок, който е живителен за тялото. Те го получават в зависимост от движенията на луната по небосклона и в зависимост от нейните фази, защото тя излъчва енергията, с която той се получава.
Nowadays, big companies, they grow vegetables in glass houses, so they're not exposed to the moon. And when you eat these vegetables, you see, they have no taste.
И някои големи фирми днес отглеждат зеленчуци в оранжерии, но понеже те не са изложени на лунната светлина, те не са вкусни, когато ги ядеш.
So, Soma Bhutva Rasatmaka. There is nectar on the moon called Soma Rasa.
Така, сома бутва расатмака. На луната има един нектар, който се нарича сома.
The demigods drink this nectar, which emanates from the moon, and thus their sensual power increases and their lives are prolonged.
И понеже полубоговете пият от този нектар, който идва от луната, така тяхната сетивност се увеличава и също така се увеличава продължителността на живота им.
So this Somarasa is the liquid ojas. Krishna says, I become the moon. So that is Krishna's own power, energy, which the demigods drink, and thus they become more and more powerful.
И всъщност тази сома раса, тя е течна отжиста, понеже Кришна казва, аз ставам луната, това означава, че полубоговете по такъв начин пият Кришна, пият под формата на тази сома раса и така получават сетивни сили.
In ancient times, Brahmanas knew how to extract this same somarasa from a plant called the soma plant, which used to grow on earth somewhere in the Himalayas. Maybe it's still there.
В миналите времена браманите имали познание за това как да извличат също тази сома раса от едно растение наречено сома, което по това време греело по земята, някъде в Хималаите, може би все още грее.
All vegetables are absorbing a little bit of this rasa, as Krishna explains here. And this one plant, Soma rasa, if one knows the art, one can get very much of this rasa out of it. And so there was a yagya, the Soma yagya, which Brahmanas would perform. And they would render this Soma ras from this Soma plant, and they would drink it.
И всяко нарушение поглъща малко количество от тази сома раса, но тези брамани знаят какви точно жертвоприношения да извършат, така че да извикат доста голямо количество сома раса от това сома растение. И те след това пият.
That's mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 20. Trai vidyamam soma paputa papa yagyair ishtva svargatim prartayante. You can mention? I said Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 20.
Тези против the whole world,
Just say, this is explained in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 20. So Krishna says in this verse, those who study the Vedas, that means the Brahmanas, and who drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly.
Там Кришна казва, тези, които изучават ведите, което означава тези, които са брамани, и пият сока сома, като се стремят да достигнат райските
Krishna says, I become the moon. Of course, that is indirectly, he becomes the moon. So those who aspire for the moon or heaven and who follow the three Vedas, the rituals in the three Vedas, and drink the Soma juice to attain the heavenly worlds, they're indirectly worshipping Krishna. And this Soma Rasa, the effect it has, Krishna says, Soma pa putta papa. By drinking this nectar, one becomes purified of sins. One becomes actually qualified to ascend to heaven. Te punyam asadya surenda lokam oshnanti divyan divideva bhogan. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. So, this process is in the mode of material goodness. It is called Pabriti Marga. Pabriti Marga means a very good method. Good method means sinless method of satisfying our material sensual urges. Shastra explains that sensual urges are felt by living entities everywhere. Every embodied living being feels these sensual urges. Loke bhavaya amisa mada seva nityasya jantu. So this statement means that all living entities, they feel the urge for what? Bhavaya means sexual desire. Amisha means a desire to eat flesh, eat meat. Mada, intoxication, desire to become intoxicated. So all living entities, nityasya jantur, even the animals, they experience these urges. So, if one succumbs to these urges in an unpurified, ignorant state, he's jantu. Jantu means he's an animal. So this Pabriti Marga is a Vedic process to satisfy these base urges, these base urges of the living entity, but in a purified way. By following the system of Varnashrama Dharma and Vedic sacrifice on the earth. In that system, there is regulated sense gratification, and then by following this properly, one is promoted to heaven, and in the heavenly planet, the Indraloka, Chandraloka, moon, these places, one can enjoy thousands and thousands of times better sense gratification than here. And the idea is that by this process of promotion, the living entity gradually becomes satisfied with sense pleasure. He's purified. He can understand transcendental knowledge. And then he can take to the Nivritti Marga, the path of renunciation of sense gratification, the path of going back home, back to Godhead, to the eternal spiritual world. The people don't know this process of Pravritti Marga today. So therefore, they satisfy their sensual urges in most ignorant and obnoxious ways. For instance, they try to, today it's going on also, the attempt to extract nectar from vegetables, but the process is in the mode of ignorance. Therefore they create wine, vodka, Schlibowitz, rakia, and they drink this, hoping to taste the nectar of heaven. But instead of ascending, becoming purified and ascending to the heavenly world, as Krishna, we heard Krishna explain in 9th chapter, they become more and more sinful and degraded, and they fall into a hell called Ayapana. Ayapana. In this Ayapana, the Yamadutas throw them down on their back, put a funnel in their mouth, and pour molten hot iron down their throats. So in this age, that sublime process of elevation by the Pravritti Marga, it is lost. But in any case, the Pravritti Marga is only an interim platform. It is not the final goal. The final goal is still there for us, so we need not lament. The final goal is cultivation of Atma Vidya, knowledge of the Atman, the soul. Krishna says, I am I am personally that knowledge. Adhyatma vidya vidyanam. Krishna says, I am that knowledge which leads to the understanding of the soul, the self, beyond this physical body. And in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has explained that the one who has this knowledge, tasmat evam vidit vainam, one who knows, vidit vainam, vidit means know, and enam is referring to the soul. So one who knows the soul, then for him there is no more lamentation. Tasmat enam vidit vainam nano shoshanti arhasi. So, soshanti, soshati, kankshati, hankering and lamentation. That is material desire. One follows this pavriti marga because he's hankering. He's hankering for increased material sense gratification. And he's lamenting also that he cannot get it in this body on earth. But he's only hankering and lamenting that way because he does not know his true self. He does not know, I'm spirit soul. I'm beyond all these things. I'm fully satisfied. So for those persons who are very strongly attached to sense gratification and who are prepared, who are able to follow the Pravriti Marg, Krishna, he presents himself. He's so merciful. He says, I become the moon. So he becomes personally, not personally, but indirectly, he becomes the object of their material desires. Their desires to go to heaven, to drink somarasa, to enjoy on the moon. So Krishna says, I become the moon. So come on. But here in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining that. He's actually explaining himself so that we will not waste our time. Krishna is saying, it's me who has become the moon, so you need not waste your time trying to get to the moon and enjoying there. Just worship me. Actually, Krishna is presenting himself as the moon for less intelligent persons. He's already explained all this to Arjuna in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. That less intelligent persons, they become attracted to the flowery words of the Vedas, which describe such things as promotion to the moon planet and heavenly sense gratification.
свете, който обещава подобни удоволствия, не стигаме до по-висшите планети и райското наслаждение.
But Krishna tells Arjuna, this is all Vishya, this is just sense gratification. So Nistray Guna Bhavarjuna, you should rise above that and become established in your true self, the soul.
Всичко това е висше и затова нищо и го не бива и стигни се над всичко това и се открива своето истинство.
And that's why Sri Krishna is explaining all these secrets of Vedic knowledge to Arjuna to give him knowledge. Huh? Jnana, Atma Vidya.
И тази причина Шри Кришна обяснява всички тези тайни на ведите на Арджуна, за да му даде истинско знание, Jnana или Atma Vidya.
Jnanagni sarva karmani. By this knowledge that Krishna is giving is like a fire which burns up all these karmic desires in the heart.
Защото това знание, което дава Кришна, е също като огън, който попада всички тези кърмични желания в сърцето.
So that when one is attained to real knowledge, then he will simply surrender to Krishna, to the service of Krishna, free from any material desires, which are just diversions, just detours from the real goal of life.
И когато човек има такова истинско знание, тогава той доброволно ще служи на Кришна, лишен от всякакви материални желания, които са всъщност само едни извратени и разкривени отражения на истинското лице на живота.
Are there any questions?
Prabhupada, he said there's two kind of beings, Devatas and Asuras, demons. And he said those who follow Nirvijima, they are Devatas, and those who are following Parajima, they are demons. So what is the Prabhupada
Прабхупад каза, че има две живи същества, демата и демони. И каза, че тези, които следват Нирвати Марга са демата, тези, които следват Парвати Марга са демони. Какво е с неговото разбиране?
Yeah, the demigods, Devatas, are situated in heaven as the Ishwaras, as the controllers, because they are Vishnu Bhaktas. They are devotees of Vishnu.
Тези, които са девата или полубоговете, се намират на небесните планети, където те управляват като ишвари или контролери. И те са получили това си положение, защото са Вишну Бхакти.
These persons described here were trying to attain heaven, to enjoy heavenly delights. It is not that they become demigods. They simply go there as servants, perhaps servants of the demigods. They become residents of the heavenly world.
Личностите, за които става дума тук, които се издигат на небесните планети, те не стават точно полубогове, а стават техни слуги или обитатели на техните планети.
And they're said to be pious because they're following the Vedic injunctions.
И в тях се казва, че са благочестиви, защото следват физическите наследия.
But these desires that they're trying to satisfy are actually demoniac.
И всъщност тези желания, които те се опитват да удовлетворят, са демонични.
Therefore, you see the demons in the Bilasvarga, they're also trying to go to heaven, but they're openly demoniac. They don't follow the Vedic process. They just take out their weapons and attack. And they want to drive out the Vishnu Bhaktas, the controllers, the Ishwaras, the demigods, drive them out from their place and take over.
И затова виждаме как истинските демони, тези, които живеят на Била Сварга и които изобщо не следват всичките населения, те също се опитват да достигнат небесата, но правят по един много пряк начин. Те просто взимат оръжие в ръце и нападат тези, които са Вишну Бхакта, полубоговете или ишварите.
These demons who do like that, they are Hira Chora. They are diamond thieves. And those who follow the Vedic process, they are Kira Chora. They are cucumber thieves. Yes.
Тези, които са демони, са наричани Хирачора.
Hirachora means diamond thief.
Което означава, че те са кръци на диаманти. Половец са наричани Кширачора, което означава,
Kira, yeah.
което означава, че те кръци краставици.
So, diamond thief is, of course, a great criminal. Cucumber thief, who cares? But actually, both are thieves.
Тези, които кръват диаманти, са сигурно са големи престъпници. Но всъщност тези, които кръват краставици, никой не го отлича особено. Но и в двата случаи си вероятно с кръвати.
So that thieving mentality, that is demoniac. Therefore, those who have this mentality, they're advised, follow the pavriti marga, and in this way, one gradually becomes purified of this thieving tendency.
И даже на тези си къде всъщност е демоничен. Това е тези, които го притежават, са съветвани да следват правилните на ръка и така да се освободят от своята склонност да крадат.
Any other question? Yes?
Is there any difference between the philosophy of the real world Catholic and the philosophy of Chintavedanta Tattva of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and is there the same word?
There's no difference. Kapila Dev is Mahajan. He's one of the great authorities on devotional service. Lord Chaitanya, in his teachings, cites Kapila Dev very extensively. You find so many verses from Kapila quoted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Anything else? Yes?
When the moon appears full, there are some people who give up. What does that
Показват се велите пропорции, това, че при пълнолуние някои не могат да спят.
Yeah, the moon also influences the mind. So, people whose minds are unstable, then the moon's influence on them is disturbing.
Когато влияе на умовете на хората и тези, които нямат много устойчиви умове, биват много успокоявани от страни.
Some people turn into wolves when the moon is full. Yes.
Някои хора стават, се превръщат във вълци при пълнолуние.
Any other questions? Yes.
Is there any connection between our karma and the offenses we commit in our devotional service?
Well, when one is committing offenses, then the karma, which there are karma bijas, seeds of material desire in the heart,
Грешки, тогава тези карма биджа или кармични желания в сърцето ни, те избояват по силата на грешките, които твърденията, които извършваме.
and if we don't stop this, we will become karmis.
И ако не сложим край на това, ще се превърнем в карми.
Anything else?
Някакво друго да правят си,
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.